guys, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to take a minute just to say thank you for all the well wishes and good thoughts, and I really do appreciate it. I wasn't really prepared for this, but I couldn't pass up an opportunity to be healed 4 weeks sooner than expected. Spring is coming up awful quick, and you know I'm going to want to be back in the dirt as soon as possible. So, having said all of that, and really truly a heartfelt thank you, let's get to the footage. Okay, so today we're going to do a little bit of repair work on these gourds. Now, a gourd can be damaged while it's drying or while it's in the garden for a myriad of reasons. But it doesn't mean that you can't still use them. These are just little holes. It looks like a bug came and decided it wanted to bite. But these are really easy to take care of. You want to clean around them pretty good. And you can use just about anything to fill that back in. I usually, something that small, I'll go ahead and use my quick wood. You see me to use that on several occasions. But all you need is a little piece, and when you use it, you have to mix it really good for a few minutes. Make sure that it becomes all one color. It has a lighter center in it and a darker outside, and it's literally an epoxy. So you have to mix it really good, and then you put it in there, and you get it all pressed in the way you want it, and then you let it dry for a while before you sand it. Now, not every gourd that's damaged needs to be repaired necessarily. This is a little bottleneck gourd that the top of it had not dried correctly. It rotted off. But there are several ways that you can use a gourd like this. And you could go around and make a mark and cut it, and you could use it as a bowl. Go ahead and carve on it. You can see that the body of it is still thick, and that's a pretty solid gourd. But you could make a bowl out of it, or you could turn it on its side and open that hole up a little bit and sand that all down. And you could put a hook in the top and make a birdhouse. I'm sure that the birds won't mind at all if it's sitting that way. It'd be perfect for some of the small songbirds that we have, or even for a hummingbird house. Now, one like this, where it has damage on the top, there's lots of different things you can do with it. I have some stainable wood filler, and it's actually kind of soft. Let's see if we can pry this open. No, not going to work right now. But it's more like a really soft putty, and they fill in really well. And you need to make sure that you leave plenty of time for it to dry, and then you can sand it and stain it. And another thing you can use is spackling. And I have two different kinds. I have a lightweight spackle, and I have this one. But I tend to prefer this one because it's pink. But as soon as it dries, it turns white. So there's no fooling around with wondering if it's completely dry. When it's completely dry, it will turn white. And I think that this is the one that I'll actually use to fix the top of this gourd. Now, always remember, you want to go through and get as much of the loose grit and dirt and stuff that might be on it to ensure that it gets in there a little bit better. And I have a little spackling knife here. Just want to make sure that you get in there and you get it in good and deep. Now, if you're going to use this for a birdhouse, don't worry about a little bit of extra getting into the top, because most of the time the little birdies wouldn't even think about getting up in there. A little bit more. And make sure you get a good fill in it. And don't worry about any, little lumps and bumps, because this is really easy to sand once it dries. But get that filled in really well. Alright. Now that's going to need a little while to dry before you can sand it. But using the color change one will definitely let you know exactly when it's ready. And if it dries and it sinks in a little bit, just add another coat onto the top of it. We'll set that one aside and let it dry for a little while. Okay, and now we're going to clean our mess up a little bit here. We're going to go back to the gourd that you saw me dye the other day, and I told you it had this really big nasty hole in it. And I think what I'm going to do, see if I can't get some of the seeds out of it, because it's a really nice big bottle gourd. Alright, so I'll put those aside. But I know this damage looks extensive, but it can be repaired. And what we're going to do is I'm going to stuff a little piece of paper towel in here, and I'm going to spray the outside edge with this spray adhesive. This stuff is really, really, really good. But before I do that, I'm going to show you the patch I made. Now, I have a tendency to save a lot of little pieces of cardboard and like cardboard paper and stuff. And I'm not sure where it went, but I have a, oh, here it is. These are the centers out of wrapping paper. You can see how pliable those are. And they work really well too. I have a tendency to keep those. On occasion I like to bonk Mark over the head with them, but they do work really well too for repairing a gourd. But back to this. I have taken this small piece of thin cardboard and I have cut a slit in each corner. And I also put one on the sides. That way when you lay it on there, it will lay down and the corners will overlap a bit. So, let me get a paper towel here. And I'm doing this just to make sure that none of the adhesive gets on the inside. Because I only want it around the outside edge. Let's see if I can do this. Nope, not going to work that way. I'll have to do it the other way. Alright, give me a second to figure this out. Okay, so I went down into the garage and I found another can of spray adhesive, and I went ahead and got it put on. I had to ask Mark for some help with the spray can, but I know it's not the prettiest of fixes, and I wouldn't necessarily use it to go ahead and make, any kind of fancy project. If I was going to make a fancy project out of it, I probably would have just cut it in half and used the better half for a bowl or a clock or something really nice. But in the case of fixing a gourd to use for a birdhouse, something like this would work just fine. By the time you get a couple of coats of spray paint on it and a couple of coats of lacquer to protect it, I don't think that the birdies will mind that it has been fixed. They'll be more looking for a nice warm place to stay. But I have my spackled gourd back here still drying. And those are usually the most common damaged pieces. The smaller ones can be spackled, and the little bug bites and stuff are really easily fixable with a little bit of wood putty or wood epoxy. And you don't always have to do a lot of fixing to use a gourd that's been broken. Just incorporate the damage to whatever it is that you would like to make and just work around it. Okay, so that's all the footage that I have for today. And once again, thank you for all the well wishes. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment or a question. And I'll see what I can do to help. Don't forget to ring that little bell. It'll let you know when we have new videos out. And we'll see you in the next one.